A fitness tracking watch that is fun. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. With us from My Play Watch is Chief Creative Officer Jeff Hardy. Hi, Jeff.
Hey Fred, how are you?
Terrific. Well, My Play Watch is bringing some of the great old video games, lots of fun, onto a watch. Give us the overview.
Yeah, so my Play Watch is a totally new product created from my independent game studio, F84, here in Los Angeles. A couple years ago, we were evaluating the game business and what are real fun, interesting opportunities. And we saw this platform of the watch as something that we could really build a new way to use new tech, right? Instead of everything having parity with the phone, we're like, let's make a new digital watch. Let's take high-tech features, but simplify it, and take these kind of generic run-of-the-mill electronics and make them special through design and fandom. And so as game folks and spending our whole careers in games, we conceptualize this idea to say, hey, let's take retro games and make a new retro game watch. So that's the genesis of my Play Watch, all based on selective tech, right? Doing tech just for very specific, purposeful uses. My Play Watch is non-connected, so it's just a really cool, smart digital watch that gives you a suite of fitness things that you might want, track your steps, check your heart rate, active calories. But then it really focuses on fun and fashion and the playful side of things, right? Rather than being a chore, it's an alternative and a choice. So
So,
that's the Play Watch.
so with the fitness stuff, the steps and all that, it's not reporting back to your phone. This is just for you on a daily basis to see how you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. How am I doing? Check my steps. We're gonna actively give you those, pieces of data that you might be interested in paying attention to. It's not a hardcore, data tracker. Those are available, right? We're carving our own lane, using fun and playfulness as the first step forward for us. And that's the product line is derived from that, right? So you'd mentioned retro games and game watches. Our first product proof of concept really was in partnership with Taito of Japan and their brand Space Invaders. So we used the Kickstarter platform to see, is this a good idea, right? And it was cool because we used the simplest of video games. The origins of video games were the origins of the My Play Watch too, right? With partnership with Taito and Space Invaders. So that was a success. We funded ourselves 300%. We closed it in the first 24 hours, and that was the beginning. And then the second product we made was in partnership with Atari. We released an Atari 2600 watch, which is available now on Amazon. Most recently, we just released the Tetris watch, which is also available. And we have an upcoming release with a new, more modern fashion-leaning brand, but everybody knows it because of our kinship to technology is with emoji. So we partnered with the emoji brand, and we're gonna, start to speak to what we think is a broader, more youth-facing audience. Because one of the first things people say is, "Oh, Game Watch, it's for kids." Well, yes, but the affinity for Space Invaders and Atari 2600 is definitely, not with the children of today, right? So it's for a different generation. So we're trying to bridge all those gaps and bring it back to just what it is, which is fun and play.
Really interesting. But people may wonder, okay, if it's tough to play games like this on that watch size screen. So tell us how you've accomplished it.
So yeah, I mean, really, it's been an iterative process in design. We're trying to stay true to the sensibility of what the game that we're taking and adapting to the Play Watch is. But what we found is the most successful when we can take that original game and IP and create its Play Watch version, leveraging the simplicity of touch and the way people are playing on modern devices, and adapting that to that. So we take each game and we look at like what's going to be the best way to honor this product. And if it's the idea to use the dial or the crown for control, then we'll try that. But it's all about really what's the best way to represent that game in the most authentic way on the Play Watch.
So you've got how many watches out there today? Once again, go over them for us and tell us about pricing and availability.
So right now we have Space Invaders watch. It's available in two colors, red and yellow. That's our first product. That's with Taito of Japan. Space Invaders available on Amazon. The second product is the Atari 2600 watch. That comes with 4 games. So Space Invaders is Space Invaders only, the authentic original version of Space Invaders. The Atari 2600 has Missile Command, Pong, Centipede, and Super Breakout. The latest product we've released is the Tetris watch, and that's this guy right here. This one, you play Tetris in its own Tetris form factor. The one that, and the one thing is you have to learn how to read. You have to read the directions, see how to play, because there is a placement mechanic that if you don't understand it, you don't play it very well. So anyway, but we adapt it to the form factor of the product.
And the screens are touch screen?
Touch screen, yes.
Interesting. So I guess you probably have more on the agenda too. There are a lot of sophisticated games that aren't going to come to a watch, obviously, but I'm sure you have more on the agenda.
Yeah, we have a big plan for 2026. You'd also asked availability. So all of our watches right now are available on Amazon, I believe worldwide. We're opening up markets often. And they're $79.99. They ship 1 watch, 2 watch bands. So it's really the idea of, it's not your daily grinder. This is not to replace your Apple Watch. This is, personality, your second watch, your extra watch. It could be your daily driver, but it's a choice. It's like fun socks or a ball cap. Is it an everyday thing? But it's when you want to showcase your personality and share, how you're feeling. Next year we've got a big slate. It's all very game centric, retro games. There's a lot of cool stuff coming out, and we're really excited to just keep improving the product and creating more awareness for what we're doing and letting more people know, because it's an incredible collectible consumer electronic, fashion wearable. Hits a lot of buttons for me personally as an artist.
Absolutely. And brings back a lot of memories too. So a big part of these games was the sound. How have you been able to do that? And are you going to be distracting people in the movie theater or in the classroom or
Yeah,
wherever?
that's a good question. Yeah, sound always comes up. We have all authentic sounds from these games in during gameplay. We try to integrate those sounds through the OS. The OS is an original product that we developed. So the My Play Watch OS was built in-house. And where sound is applicable on a watch, we use those sounds, right? But it's not an over, elaborate soundscape throughout the experience, because that's not what the watch is supposed to do, right? It tells you time, tracks your, health and fitness things, and it's for fun for us. That's the whole purpose. Not to be distracting, not to, interrupt classroom. So you get a full suite of sounds when you're playing the game. You also have sound control, volume, turn sounds on and off. So there's a lot of functionality, and it's pretty robust.
What time is it? It's time to play, right? So
Exactly. Exactly. It is time to play.
we have handheld games. They've been around for a long time, and we're calling this wrist worn. What are we calling it?
It's a wearable, it's I think like it's a fashion wearable. It's a game watch first and foremost, though, because it's a watch. It's a watch that will play games. And what are those games? What does that play? I think the thing about my Play Watch is more so even than just games, what we really want to lean into is play. Like, what does that mean, right? And when you look at different brands that people have affinity for, what is the playful nature of that brand? And that's really what we try to do. Find that and bring its pairing to games, which comes to this watch.
How often does it need charging?
Um, it's a good habit in any sort of fashion wearable, from Samsung to whatever, to charge it daily with use. But this watch, because it's not connected, has incredible battery life. It's not constantly pulling Wi-Fi or signal or trying to spool or connect. So it can be off charger for a number of days. I've had them sit in my closet for over a week, and that's just anecdotal. This is not a scientific test, but you pick it up and it's still got juice. But it's a pretty good quick charge, and battery life, has proven to be pretty meaningful.
What do you know about your typical wearer customer?
It's all kinds. I think our typical customer is as broad and reaching as the video game industry itself. I think that there's, our customer needs to tell time, right? Who is that? That's mostly everyone in existence. So I think we're at a point too right now where we're leaning into video games. It's a nice pairing with the product, gives us a real purpose for it. And video games are now multi-generational, right? You look at the early games we started with ourselves on the Play Watch, Space Invaders and Atari, you're talking 70s, early 80s, up until all of this pop cultural video game history has happened from then till now. And that's our opportunity with what we're building.
Just terrific. So for more info, where does everyone go?
You can go to myplaywatch.com. You can see the full spread of products. And we're available Amazon.com, a few other retailers online right now. So it's a really exciting time for something new and trying to change the narrative a little bit.
Well, congratulations on giving us all some fun. Jeff Hardy, thanks for taking time with us.
Thanks, Brad. I appreciate it.